Welcome back to Sportsworld and a special look at sport in China. The International Olympic Committee is one of the largest and most influential sporting organisations in the world. And in the lead up to Beijing, as with any Olympic Games, everyone wants a piece of the IOC. Well, one website has continually been found to be ahead of the game with their knowledge of all things Olympic. Sportsworld's Brendan Connor went behind the scenes at Around the Rings.
It's a Thursday and another busy day in the Atlanta offices of AroundTheRings.com. The small staff working at various projects. This is the empire of the Hula family. Ed Hula pounding out a few emails and working on his latest articles. His wife Sheila running the business side of things, talking to advertisers and booking travel. Son Ed Jr. working the website as well as he continues his college studies at a local university.
Well, it grew out of my work as a radio reporter in Atlanta when Atlanta was bidding for the Olympic Games. I had the good fortune to be in Tokyo, Japan, when the IOC awarded those games to Atlanta in 1990. It was one of those moments in your career when you realize that something exciting is about to happen a few years down the road in your hometown, and you're already part of that, experience. You're already in the media in the Olympic City, so I realized this could be a really great opportunity.
On this day, the Around the Rings team turned its attention to the ongoing steroid scandal in the American sport of baseball and the call by international anti-doping officials for more thorough testing in that sport.
The use of steroids in Major League Baseball was widespread.
Drug testing and cheating in sport are just a few of the many issues Ed Hula and his team here in Atlanta and his Europe-based correspondents regularly tackle in their writings. And because of the breadth and scope of the subjects, places, and issues they write about, AroundTheRings.com is fast becoming the go-to website and a must-read for all involved in international sports.
It's a frequent subject of discussion with the various federations that I represent, and we talk about it. And it's a way for us to literally know what's going on with the other federations as well.
So is this operation viable now? Are you at the point now where you're happy? You're making money? Would you say it's flourishing?
I don't know if flourishing is the right word. It's certainly steadily growing. We are, I think, in a good, strong position for the sort of niche publication. We're never going to have 1 million subscribers. Be nice to have it, maybe, in a financial sense. But we're a niche publication. We want to reach into the industry of the Olympics. And we now feel a responsibility, even more of a responsibility, to deliver quality information.
And I will say that the business is in fact flourishing. And unlike maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, now people are coming to us, and there's much less of a real sales pitch or sales effort having to be made. We do obviously still do it. We have proposals out and we're always talking to people, but now they're coming to us quite a bit.
In covering the international sports beat and the $5 to $6 billion industry that the Olympics becomes every 4 years, Ed Hula has interviewed key world leaders and has built a relationship with the IOC. He has to count on the powerful organization for access, comment, and background. But occasionally he also has to be critical. So it's a fine line he walks when it comes to dealing with the Lausanne-based International Olympic Committee.
It's a good business relationship. We're friendly. We're adversarial when it needs to be. We don't see eye to eye on how they do things. They don't necessarily agree with the way we say things sometimes, but we respect each other.
Looking ahead, AroundTheRings.com has already begun covering the run-up to and the staging of Beijing 2008. And the consensus here in the office is that this summer's Olympics will be fascinating.
While there are going to be some great athletic performances, the fact that these games are taking place in China for the first time, against a backdrop sometimes of controversy involving the Chinese policy on human rights, press freedoms, will reporters be able to tell their stories? Will visitors to Beijing feel welcome when they get there? Will they be able to get around and enjoy themselves? What will the pollution be like? So those are the kinds of stories that we're anticipating this summer that would be of interest.
Do you think the time has come that the Olympics has to go to some of these emerging parts of the world, like the Middle East, like Africa, like India?
It's going to take some work for it to be successful. Doha's launched a bid on the back of the 2006 Asian Games, which were generally pretty well-run endeavor for such a small country. But for the Olympics to grow, for the Olympics to be a really universal movement, at some time the Games do have to go to parts of the world they haven't been.
Ed Hula there of Around the Rings. Well, finally, China may be recovering from its worst winter for many years. But people who can afford it are searching for a different kind of snow just outside the capital, Beijing. They're hitting the slopes made of fake snow to try out skiing for the very first time, as Melissa Chan now reports.
A sunny winter's day, a perfect day to hit the slopes. Crisp, cool air filling the lungs of athletes, hungry for speed. If you're assuming this is somewhere in Europe, look more carefully. This is China, just an hour outside of Beijing at Nanshan Ski Resort, a wonderland of artificial snow. It's not exactly alpine skiing, the people here struggling to ski what are mostly hills. But with rising incomes in this country and more leisure time come a curiosity for new activities. And starting at $50 a day, skiing's still for the privileged few. But this year, over 3 million Chinese are expected to teeter, fall, wipe out through their first ever ski trip. It's about struggle and perseverance on the always busy bunny hills. Some resorts have only built beginner slopes, not bothering with wasting space on steeper stuff.
It's my first time to ski, and because I like snow, I had never seen snow before. So I want to experience such feelings. It's so good, wonderful, yeah, perfect. I like it.
It's all good. My second time I didn't fall, but during my first run, I fell 7 times.
Jiao Caiyan is an instructor here. She had only skied for about a year or so on her own before she started teaching others. She's noticed greater numbers of visitors every season, but says it's not just about new money.
People are richer now, but it's also because people care more about health and exercise. You see a lot of children learning to ski. Their parents want them to develop a hobby and acquire a new skill.
Just a few years ago, any Chinese heading to the ski slopes would be spending time in the beginner section. In fact, the ski lifts to the medium sections were turned off because no one would be heading there. Now, however, you're starting to get serious skiing aficionados, and they're heading to the steeper slopes.
It's still an uphill battle to find resorts with decent facilities. Disappointing news for people who've discovered this new love, this new hobby. But for most people out here, it's still all amateur. Just a fun weekend out of town. Melissa Chan, Al Jazeera, right outside of Beijing.
Looks good, doesn't it? Well, don't forget to check out our website, aljazeera.net/English, where you can find all the latest sports news, watch any of our Sportsworld stories again, and let us know what you think of the show. But that's it for this edition of Sportsworld. I'm Joanna Gajarowska. You're watching Al Jazeera.